Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Danny Talks United. And we are in for a big week, whether it's going on incomings or outgoings. Lots of stuff happening. We are in the final days of the transfer window, and we've got some big news to break now. But just before we do, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. How's everyone's bank holiday going? Mine is great. I just finished from the gym. If you couldn't tell, I love the gym. Follow me on Instagram. I don't have a lot of followers. Danny Talks United. Down to chat, gym tips, football news, tips, whatever you want. Follow me on Instagram. And let's get into it now with the Manchester United breaking news. So, according to the Oracle, David Ornstein, Ugarte is going to join Manchester United this week. Now, this is pending on this Napoli move for Scott McTOMINAY. If you aren't aware, yesterday, Napoli and Manchester United have agreed a fee for Scott McTOMINAY, just over £25 million, around 30 million euros. In my opinion, for a mediocre midfielder on his last year of his contract, not a terrible fee, in my opinion. I think we wanted a little bit more, but times are pressing, and if we want to get Ugarte in now, he has to go, along with a few others. But anyway, according to David Ornstein, McTominay looks like he is on the verge of moving to Napoli. They're just ironing out his personal terms and I think like a little severance package from Manchester United, similar to what Wan-Bissaka did receive on his move to West Ham. And I expect that to be wrapped up in the coming hours. And this transfer officially announced maybe later today, tomorrow, by the time you're watching this, who knows? All I know is by the end of this week, Ugarte is going to be a Manchester United player. His stuff's all ready to go. Personal terms with him already decided. I don't think the fee has yet been decided with PSG. All I know is that we are now aiming to do a permanent transfer for Ugarte, not a loan to buy or anything like that. Once Scott is out, we are buying this guy as a permanent transfer, and he'll slot right into the midfield. I think people are getting a bit annoyed by Erik ten Hag taking a few weeks to really get players into the team. It's not an easy system to understand, and we forget that a lot of these players have had a lot of time off. Yes, Ugarte did go away for the Copa America, but it's been weeks now since he's been back. Hasn't featured for PSG at all. So I don't expect him. It'd be nice, but I don't expect him to feature this weekend. If he is in the team, I don't really expect him to feature much against Liverpool this weekend. But from there on, after the international break, he needs to be in the team going forward. But this is exciting. We don't really sign a lot. I feel like we don't sign a lot of midfielders. I think Casemiro was the last one we signed, and he's had his ups and downs, I think people will say. But I think this one's a very exciting. Now, just a little opinion piece on this Ugarte move. I think a lot of people are expecting him to come in and replace Casemiro. While I do think that will be the case for most games, especially when we're playing the lower teams, I can see him and Casemiro playing together quite often, especially against these bigger teams that we tend to play. I know Mainu is good, but he is only 19 years old, and we risk running him into the ground, playing him every single week, in addition to the Europa League happening. And what we've seen with Casemiro is he's had a lot of success pushing a bit more forward while still having a bit of that defensive capability. Is he where he used to be? Hell no. Does he look a little bit better than last year? He sure does. And I think him and Ugarte working together, as Ugarte being that bit of a destroyer defensive midfielder, while Casemiro is the more progressive defensive midfielder. I have no issues playing 2 sixes when we come against teams like a Liverpool away, a City, an Arsenal. It'd be nice to really sew up that midfield. And then maybe bring Mainu on to replace Casemiro down the line in the 65th minute in a game. I don't want to see that setup when we play teams like a Brentford or teams that are going to sit back. I want to see a more progressive midfield. But against the big teams, I can see Eric Ten Hag doing things like this. But yeah, I'd say Ugarte to Manchester United is a basically here we go, just waiting for things to iron out and expect him to be in that shirt by the end of the week, along with Scott McTOMINAY making the most random move ever to Napoli. I've got a friend who is a big Serie A fan, not a Napoli fan, but follows Serie A all the time. I want to get his thoughts on what he thinks about that move. It's kind of weird seeing a Scotsman in Italy, but you know what? I think with the type of system they want to go with over there, I think he'd bed in very well. He just needs to handle those fans. Those fans can be brutal at times. Now, in addition to Scott McTominay leaving and Ugarte joining, it looks like Sancho could also be on his way out. Now, big rumors coming from Chelsea that they want to do a swap deal with Sterling for Sancho and possibly also include Chilwell. Now, I'd avoid this like a plague. I don't personally want Sterling. I think he's getting towards his twilight of his career. I think I heard on another channel that he's like an Alexis Sanchez move, and I would totally agree. Around the same age, same type of profile. His wages are insane as well, and I don't think we would be willing to give him that. So I think there's a very low chance of this swap deal happening. I don't even want to talk about Chilwell. That dude is basically the Anthony Martial of left backs. Always injured, never fit. Used to be one of the most promising left backs, similar to Martial when he was a striker and winger, but just can't stay fit. So I'd avoid all of this like a plague. I'd rather keep Jadon Sancho on ice before take these guys. But there's also been rumors of him going to Juventus in a Chiesa swap. Another swap deal. I don't like any of these swap deals, by the way. I would avoid Chiesa also like the plague. I've heard from multiple people. My buddy who follows Serie A is actually a big Juve fan. Attitude problems with Chiesa, injury problems with Chiesa. The list goes on. After last year, I don't want to see any injury-prone players anymore coming to United. I know we've made maybe a few signings that could be injury-prone this season, but none in the forward line, please. Let's just get a sale and get the money, and either invest that money into maybe an Ivan Toney on the low cheap or something like that. I'm only in for Ivan Toney if it costs around 30 million, no more than that, by the way. I'm not huge on Ivan Toney. Great player, just overpriced, I think. So yeah, that's basically the news, guys. I think everyone is looking at this McTominay deal, just sitting at the edge of their seats, waiting for the personal terms to be accepted. Now, Scott McTominay he's already accepted the project at Napoli, according to Fabrizio Romano. So now it's just ironing out those personal details, and that move should be done soon. And us getting a new midfielder, a new defensive midfielder, a destroyer type midfielder. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to give it my personal here we go. It's happening. David Ornstein's basically confirmed it. Fabrizio Romano has basically confirmed it. We're just waiting for that image now to come through. Hold on to your butts. It's happening. All right? Well, that's the news for you. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, guys, I do have Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Not a big channel. I'm always up for chatting. I do respond to messages. I'm not one of those guys that hides from messages. Danny Talks United, same as my YouTube. And I'm quite new to Manchester, guys. Anyone around? Let me know if you guys want to meet up, talk about Manchester United. Would love to meet some of you guys. Anyway, peace out. Have a good bank holiday. Later.